Okay, I got one more little story for you. It's kind of a little cherry on the sundae, little icing on the cake for you. Kash Patel, who is now cross-eyed Cash, as I call him. Cross-eyed Cash, you never know what he's looking at. But he's looking all over the place to the FBI because he's running the company and I love him. Kash Patel, who is in charge of the FBI, who is also a children's book author. I don't know if you know this. He wrote this children's book, little cute little graphics and what have you. It was called The Plot Against the King. And you'll never guess who the king was. It's right there on the cover of the book. I wish I had it in front of me. I did not buy this. But Donald Trump is wearing a crown. And then there's an evil queen in the background. And her name was Hillary Queenton. And she's got a little evil crown on her head. And she's lurking in the back of the picture. But up front is King Donald and his faithful sorcerer named Cash. So not only did he write the book, but he wrote himself into the book as a sorcerer that's there to protect the king against the evil Hillary Queenton. I mean, she wasn't a queen, she was just named Queenton. Anyway, that's it. That's just a little side thing for you, a little funny for you, a little morsel. But child author and head of the FBI, Kash Patel, is giving an interview to Bartiromo on Fox News. And at his side is, what's the guy's name? What is the guy's name? Jesus, I'm drawing a fucking blank. Dan Bongino. Thank you very much. Dan Bongino. Big old meathead, used to work for the Secret Service under Obama. Then he worked for NRA TV until that became a defunct thing. And then he started his own podcast with his fame and glory. And honestly, he was one of the top 5 podcasters that, on right wing, in the right wing sphere. And you listen to the guy and he couldn't think his way out of a fucking paper bag. He is a meathead and as dumb as a bag of hammers. But he is the deputy director to the FBI. So you have the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and meathead, blockhead, Dan Bongino right beside him. And Maria Bartiromo is asking them both about what the investigation that they're doing into January 6th. Now, if you guys remember, the argument on the right was that the FBI was infiltrating all of the people that were doing all of the crazy rioting at the Capitol, and that it wasn't them making the decision. It was Antifa. Antifa broke the windows, and then the good Republican people, they climbed in the windows. But they only did all of those bad things and beat up all those cops and, beating up cops with American flagpoles. The irony, they're beating them up with Blue Lives Matter flagpoles. Beating up a cop with a Blue Lives Matter flagpole. Come on! You can't make this shit up. But they wouldn't have done all those bad things. They wouldn't have done it. They were made to do it. Look what you made me do, FBI. It was FBI infiltrators. And that was the story, that the FBI was instigating all of these bad actors into being bad actors. They were good people, especially that guy that had the Camp Auschwitz sweatshirt on. Or, the head of the Proud Boys with the eye patch. Or, no, he was what was the name of that? The 3 Percenters. The Proud Boys guy, he had people on the outskirts of town, with weapons and what have you. And then there were bombs found all over the place. But no, it was the FBI, man. The FBI instigated that. They wouldn't have done any of the bad things if it wasn't for the FBI. Well, Bartiromo's asking about that. And they're like, well, there's a distinction. It wasn't really FBI agents. They were FBI assets. There's a big distinction between the two of those, and it was FBI assets that did the instigating. It wasn't FBI agents. I mean, now that they're running the fucking FBI, they're not going to throw any of their own FBI agents under the bus, but somehow or the other, this is how they're, it wasn't agents. They were, they were, they were FBI assets. They were the bad ones. And they're the ones that started all of the stuff. And all of the MAGA people that were, rioting and breaking windows and shitting on Nancy Pelosi's desk and, hunting down the hallways for congressmen and senators, to lead them out to the gallows that they had out on the lawn and screaming about hanging Mike Pence. Nah, man, those were FBI assets. Get it straight. So Bartiromo goes, oh, okay, I understand. There's a distinction. Agents, assets. Oh, that's a major distinction. I wasn't aware of that. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Patel, for telling me that. That's really wonderful. And thank you, Dan Bongino, for letting me in on that. I'm just a woman. I don't know anything. And I'm here to run cover for anything that you want to say anyway, so go ahead. So they continue. And then she asks, yo, what's up with this Epstein thing? Did he kill himself or what? And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, all of which were very much in the camp of, there's no fucking way that Epstein killed himself. He did not hang himself. Oh, all the cameras magically go down. And, for like a 20-minute period. And we go back and look and he's dead. Oh my God, how did it happen? Look, I'm not going to wax conspiratorial over here. I think that there is a definite possibility that they Epsteined him, if you know what I mean. I mean, the dude had ties to Mossad. The guy had dirt on a shitload of people. Donald Trump met Melania on the fucking Lolita Express, okay? There's picture after picture after picture and video of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. He wished Ghislaine Maxwell good luck in her case. They used to party at fucking Mar-a-Lago. They were goddamn neighbors, for fuck's sakes. Come on. Now, I'm not saying that Bill Clinton wasn't involved and he didn't go to that goddamn island. Of course he went to the island. All of those guys went to that goddamn island. But Donald Trump did too. But no. They gotta put the mums to word on this one because they're working for the Don now and they can't say anything. So just immediately both of them were just with the big old wide eyes going, no, he actually absolutely killed himself. There's absolutely no evidence that anything happened. A couple of years ago, both of you guys were talking about Epstein was killed. And now you're like, no. Now that we're in the club, now we've got to defend the people inside the club. Yeah. So I just found that to be pretty cute. So child author Kash Patel, now head of the FBI, and his deputy, Dan Bongino, toeing the line for the big guy. Anyway, that's the story for today. I hope that you guys had a good one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. And please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Pretty soon I'm going to be off of the fryer, and I'm going to be onto the grill, and that's when the big bucks start rolling in. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.